Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kelvin. A lot have been mentioned about myself, so I don't need to go further. So I would like us to explore together what I would like to share today. Today we're talking about transformation. So I would like to share how we transform our water today to sustainable digital water tomorrow. Oh, sorry. Okay, we have the same screen now. Okay, what do we know about water? So, I said that we need to explore. So, I would like to take Vincent's challenge, break the chain, and I'm going to ask you questions. So, I appreciate your response. Can we do that, ladies and gentlemen? Tell me in one word that you can relate to water. Shout it out. Keep it coming. More towards longer term, sustainable, green. Right. Thank you very much. Okay, it doesn't change here. Okay, there's a lag. Okay, when we talk about sustainable, we're talking about future. We talk about green. We talk about livable. We also talk about sufficiency, continuous, non-stop. Right? So these are important words that we will explore this afternoon. We have explored water. Now it's sustainable. The next one for us to go to will be people versus technology, or what I call it digitalization. So digital. What is digitalization, ladies and gentlemen? Change. What else? Adapting, yes. Sorry? Paper-free? Modernization, automation, yes, the technical jargons is coming out. Some more. Upgrade. IoT, yes. RPA, right? AI, machine learning. So these are all digitalization. And when you look at it, just look back and see the age when we have the very first computers before. That's probably 30 to 40 years ago. Right? Now, when the computers are here, how do we benefit from them? We benefit from them by increasing productivity. We are able to work more efficiently. We increase effectiveness. For the factories, they have timely production. timely outputs. So these are all benefit coming from digitalization. Now, I'm sure MMU undergraduates here are very familiar with computers. I was an undergraduate before, so I always remember the important function of copy and paste. Don't we? Yeah, I see thumbs up. Thank you very much. So when we have important functions, that actually mean it helps us, right? I'm not saying that copy and paste is the way forward. But don't worry, we have more advanced technology now. That's ChatGPT. So let's let that worry to be for the lecturers, not us. What do you, as a water user or as a consumer, expect? Like we said, continuous water supply, uninterrupted water supply, right? Good water quality, timely and accurate billing. So these are what our water users want, what we want. From knowing what water users want, we then chart our path, right? This is an industry practice. And we talk about digitalization. We also talk about digital utility of the future, where you look at three important aspects. One, how do we talk to our assets? What are our assets? Pipelines, reservoirs, the dams, the huge dams that we have. Then we talk about number two, people. Are we technology savvy enough to adopt and adapt to digitalization? All of us have a smartphone now. We don't call it handphone anymore. Yeah? I come here using Waze just now, right? So we are all into digitalization, whether we like it or not. Finally, number three, we talk about empowering the water users or empowering the customer. Now, we have explored the what on sustainable digital water. We have also explored the why, right? Because of the benefit of digitalization. So now we will go to the how. You can see here we have what we call Intelligent Command Center. What happens here is this. All our assets are wired, right? From the pipelines, from the reservoirs, from the dams, from the treatment plants, into one central location. So from here, you get all types of data. You get water flow, you get water pressure, you get levels in the reservoirs. Is that all? No, you get much more now. You get acoustic noises, right? you get water quality sensors that tell us if the water quality is good enough. So we have all this abundance of data in the command center. Right? Now, how does this help us? No. How does this benefit the water users? I'll give you a scenario. One day, we have a sudden pressure drop in the system. Okay, in the pipeline, pressure was 50 meters. Now it has dropped to 30 meters. And because we have the sensors, data was sent to the command center. Alert is triggered. It says, sudden pressure drop. We have to check. So an on-site team is dispatched and investigated. Right? They found there's some malfunction, able to rectify it in 1 hour. But within 30 minutes of the alarm triggered, a consumer called the contact center. And she said, I'm having low pressure in my house. Okay, that's the scenario. Before, the contact center will reply as such. Thank you, Miss Uma, for your complaint. We will check and revert back to you. Right? So after check, resolve, 3 to 4 hours later, we call Miss Uma. Miss Uma, thank you for your complaint. It's been resolved. So Miss Uma said, the pressure is back to normal. That's before. Now, what happened? Now, when Miss Uma called, in half an hour after alarm is triggered, our contact center personnel will tell Miss Uma, thank you for your complaint. We are aware of the problem. It will be resolved in half an hour. We will update you again. See, that's the beauty of data. We will know when and where. Hence, we are able to act. And the benefit goes to our customers, water users. Well, you see these two guys there. They are talking. Just to share with you, they are actually my colleagues. Right? A different scenario. Imagine we have a pipeline, okay, full of water at a certain pressure head. Now, a hole has appeared on the pipeline, right? So it's a leak, okay? Now, what happens as time goes? The hole becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, right? Until to the extent it cannot hold anymore, the pipe will break. That's what we call a pipe burst. Now, but imagine this. When we have what we call pressure transient system sensors within our network that actually provide us 256 sample readings in 1 second. That's a lot of reading, guys. Yeah? So we are able to detect when this small hole occur. Right? Now what do we do then? Once we know, again, alarm is triggered, we are able to dispatch the team, fix the hole before it becomes a pipe burst. What's the beauty? The beauty is lower cost of repair. The best beauty of all, no interruption to the customer. Customers will be happy. We are there repairing it, sweating, but customer need not know about it. All they want is continuous, uninterrupted water supply. Yeah, we definitely don't want such things to happen. Yeah, this is a big scale pipe burst, right? Now, what I want to share is also the number on the screen. You look at this number as 5 bursts per 100 kilometer per year. Through digitalization, before digitalization, it was not this number. The number then was 21. Right? So ladies and gentlemen, we already obtained the benefit of digitalization. How? We know where, we know when it happened, and we can act on it. We can now prevent it. That's a 75% reduction. These are our team, right? Now, for non-revenue water, or a simpler term, water losses, leakages, we have, through digitalization, 16% reduction. Look at the 99.9. That's compliance to drinking water standards. Through digitalization, we have managed to bring it up from 99 to 99.9. This is a digital meter on the left, and on the right is an app. Okay? Now, when we say digital meter, what does it mean? It just means that we are moving forward with digitalization, and this meter does not require manpower to read it. It transmits data every day. And hence, we can bill the water users directly without going to their doorstep. Right? So that's the beauty of the meter. Is that all? No. What you can't see is that within this meter, there are what we call acoustic sensors. Acoustic sensors are important and used when they can pick up leak noises. So where is the leak? Is it in our houses or outside our houses? The meter is able to determine whether it's inside or whether it's outside. Now, what's the benefit then? Have you heard water users or consumers complaining of high bill? Right? Trust me, being in the business long enough, nobody complains of low bill. Okay? So people only complain when the bill is high. Now, 90% of the time, when the bill is high, it's because of what we call internal leakage. Because the pipe runs in the garden is always wet, nobody realizes. After 1 month, where the leak happens, they get a shock, and they say it's high bill, right? So now, with this, you don't get shocks anymore. Alarm will be triggered to you directly, not me, to users directly. As long as you are a smart digital water user. And what do I mean by that? You subscribe to app, you have e-bill, everything is E nowadays, right? So that means you have smartphone. So like it or not, you are already a smart user. Okay? Okay, this is talking about sustainability. Now, a smart digital water user is actually working towards sustainable environment. Why do I say that? Number one, if you have e-bill, you don't get paper bill. So you preserve the trees, right? You preserve not only the trees, you preserve the ecosystem as well. Number two, if you know about your water consumption every day, you will also know if you are using too much water. Ladies and gentlemen, when I say too much water, perhaps it's a bit difficult to comprehend. Let me give you some numbers. Average people in Selangor uses about 240 liters of water per person per day. So you have 5 people in the family, you look at about 1 to 1.2 cubic meters per day. Right? Is that too high? Not sure yet. Let me give you the next number. In our friends in neighboring Singapore, their average consumption is 160 liters per capita per day. 160 Singapore, Selangor 240. We use 50% more than them. So are we using too much water? I don't know, you tell me. Right? Let's not get into why we use so much water. Right? But we need to conserve. That's the important message. So if we know our consumption, we will also be triggered on the app. Mr. Vincent, just to inform you, as compared to your neighborhood, you are using 50% more. Right? So the next thing Mr. Vincent will do, number one, let's check if there's internal leakage. Because he doesn't believe he uses too much water. That's for sure. Number two, after that's done, confirm no leakage, he will say, okay, let's call for a family meeting. Okay? In our efforts to conserve water. I love this picture. a running tap. That hand and arm is definitely not mine, right? But it's from a child, right? And in this picture, you can see the message is clear. If a child knows how to close off a running tap, what are the excuses for us adults in not conserving water, not wasting water? Sorry guys, it's not my fault. That's for sure. Okay. Now, simple. Ladies and gentlemen, I have 2 takeaways for you after we have explored, right? What have we explored? We have explored how do we transform our water today into sustainable digital water tomorrow. So look at the droplet. The droplet is wired up. Look at the beautiful leaves and flowers. That's where sustainability is crucial, right? We also talk about sustainability not just for me and you, for our kids. For our kids, right? And going forward. And we have an obligation. Remember the child closing the running tap. So this is important. We can make a difference. So that's the first takeaway, which is sustainable digital water. And finally, I'm not the guy in the picture. Far from it. He's much more good looking, right? Now, we definitely do not want war. Furthermore, over water. This is not something I say, right? And people have mentioned, if we continue the way we are, we will run out of fresh water very soon. Malaysia has abundance of fresh water. But are we optimizing it? We are not. I can tell you we are not. Because for the fact that we use too much water, right? And we need to conserve, we need to preserve, right? So what the second takeaway I would like to bring back, be a James Bond of water. What can you do? Right? Number 1, conserve water. Don't use so much. If the water consumption is too high, call for an emergency family meeting. Okay? Number 2, avoid wastage. And the simplest of all, number 3, reduce the use of paper. Be an e-bill customer. Use the app. Right? You will see the chain of effects. It's not just paper, it's just not trees. It's also lesser people